Everyone, and welcome. Bonsoir, tout le monde, et bienvenue. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu, VA3 CJZ, opening the weekly amateur radio exchange group, Simplex Net, also known as AREG for short, for Wednesday, March 6, 2024. This week is 1,590 times that AREG has been on the air consecutively. My name is Chuck, and my station is located in East Hamilton. And this net is on every Wednesday night, starting at 8 p.m. and ending at 10 p.m. local time here on 146.430. Since this is a simplex net, not everyone will be able to hear everyone else, so we also stream the net on YouTube, so people who tune in can hear stations that they cannot hear on their radio, hear how their audio sounds on the air, and see their signal strength, as well as see my station layout. Just type my call into the YouTube search box, again, VA3 CJZ, and look for us live. Or tonight we'll be under the title AREG 1590 if you have trouble finding us on the live. And finally, we ask that you please try and leave a 1 to 2 second delay between transmissions to allow other stations to break in. And so, with that, may I now have check ins?
PA3 XJ.
PE3 ZJC.
Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey.
VA3NCA.
Okay, very good. We'll stop there. And I heard VA3AXJ first, but he doubled with someone else. Who's that doubling station in the distance?
Victor Echo 3 Bravo Mike Oscar Mobile.
Roger that. Victor Echo 3 Bravo Mike Oscar Mobile. I almost called you Bravo Mobile. So, yeah, okay. And we heard ZJC, IMW, NCA. And so let's start off with the mobile, VE3 BMO. Pierre, come on in.
Yeah, just a beam for the pot there, Chuck. Just out at a park, activating it right at the moment. Other than that, I don't have much to add.
Oh, very good. Well, you're coming in at an S9 over here at the Center Mall. Of course, you know where I live. And whereabouts are you?
I'm just down here at Confederation Park.
Oh, very good, very good. Okay, well, good signal there, Pierre. Nothing, no news on the job front.
Nope, not yet. I'll find out tomorrow when I go in and pick up my paycheck and find out what's going on.
Right. Okay, very good then. Okay, Pierre, thanks for checking in, my friend. Anything else before we carry on?
No, sir. I'll listen along. If I have anything I come up with, I'll chirp in there. Thanks for doing the net, and hi, everybody on
Okay, Pierre, thank you. And so we'll clear with BMO and go and say hello to Downtown Rick, VA3AXJ. Rick, come on in.
Yeah, good evening, Chuck. You gotta have to help me laugh tonight, buddy. Not in good spirits. I was supposed to be at a wake tonight, but couldn't go. So, well, my next door neighbor's brother died Monday. It was a rare, very, very, very rare cancer. And he had the doctors come in and, well, I wouldn't say euthanize, but doctors assisted death. And his other brother, he's probably got about another month to live with the same disease. So what I did is I wrote him a check for $2,000 and I sent it off with my brother Ron to take it in to the wife. Other than that, you gotta make me laugh tonight, buddy. I'm not feeling well.
All right, there, Rick. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. And my thoughts and prayers go out to you and the family. And so, yeah, we usually keep it pretty lively here, and hopefully, we'll help you pick up your spirits, if not just for a short time. So, unless you have anything else, my friend, we'll keep going down the list.
No, carry on. I'll be listening.
Okay, Rick. Very good then, and great signal as always, and great audio. So very good. Listen along to the net. I do have some interesting stuff, and we'll try and throw some funnies in there. Okay, so we'll clear with AXJ, and next is VE3ZJC. Jason, come on in.
Good evening, Chuck, and everybody else on the net tonight. Not much for you, just sitting here working out some stuff with my brother. He's looking to set up a side gig, so I got some 3D printing crap I got to get done for him. So after this quick check-in, I will be off to my dungeon in the basement and cleaning up some printers, and I will follow along on the YouTube stream because I don't get any good radio signals down in my basement, sir.
Yes, the old basement. I know what you mean. Okay, well, I'm proudly displaying the work that you did there with my call sign currently on the YouTube stream. So you can always check that. It's 8:07 p.m. And yeah, still looks nice and looks very solid. So very good then. Thanks, Jason, for checking in. At least you didn't come back to a big 2 feet of snow from Florida. I don't know. I've had it happen a couple of times to our family. So it's always nice to come home and see it pretty much the way you left it.
Oh, it was very much the way I left it. Gray and dreary when I got back to the car at the airport and got in, sat down and looked at the missus and said, can we just go back to the airport, get back on a plane and go back to the sun because this is pretty depressing up here. I'll send it back to you, sir, just to pick up Mac there behind me, and I will flip over to the YouTube stream, VE3ZJC, back to net control.
All right. I don't know if we talk about reach arounds over here, but behind you is Mac. So we'll clear with V3ZJC and say hello to Mac, VA3IMW.
Well, good evening, Chuck. And yeah, imagine that. ZJC, CJZ, and no explosion. There you go. Anyways, glad to have Jason back amongst us. That's a great task. He's got, what do you say? He's got more parks activated in Florida than he does in Ontario, so he's got a lot of work to do. It was nice to make contact with him tail end of last week across the border. Anyways, while I have the mic, Rick, North End Rick, I can't make you laugh right now, but I can make you smile. When in this community, when one hurts, we all hurt a little bit for them. But it also inspires us to cherish each other a little bit more every day. So yeah, you're bringing us closer together, with each other, and we're all feeling it in our hearts and souls, right for you. Anyways, all the best to the families affected, and obviously neighbors, friends, and associates. What else? I'm going to say the good news is none of my friends, neighbors, and relatives have passed away recently, for which I'm eternally grateful. But that day will come, obviously. So let's carry on supporting each other, and this is a great community and a great support network for everybody. Let's see what else. Sorry you had a tough time reaching out to Wyoming tonight, and like I said, when you grab one, you can usually grab a second one. They kind of travel in packs. I used to say that Wyoming only has two ham operators, and they're usually both on the air at the same time. Other than that, you don't get them whatsoever. So let's see. On this day, it's not anywhere near that time, but certainly looking forward to that as well, Chuck. This week has been a lot of fun. Some quick activations. I guess this is Wednesday. When I activated the McRae House in Guelph, I actually learned a bit of history, and John McRae, for which that heritage site is named, is actually the author of In Flanders Fields. So that's kind of the 2 degrees of separation. My recent trip to France allowed me to take a day trip into Belgium and observe the historic monuments, both for the Americans and the Canadians. And I saw the display there in one of those areas where John McRae's poem was posted, but it wasn't until recently, having activated the heritage site in Guelph, that I learned the historic significance of it. Anyways, we're learning every day, and I guess that's a good thing as well. Let me turn it back to you, Chuck, and I'll be here for the duration. And once again, Rick, all the best to you and those near you.
All right, very good, Mac. Just to change the subject very quickly, I hear Rick, VE3BK, is looking for alternate net controllers for the Monday night net. And so some of you may have gotten an email from him. If not, if you're interested, please let Rick know. Look him up on QRZ. His email is right there. His call is VE3 Bravo Kilowatt. And if you're interested to do 80 meter net on Monday night, well, Mac, I guess that leaves you out of it. But anyone else, please feel free. And I want to say hello to VE3IUK, who checked in with us on YouTube. Hello, Bill. Thanks for checking in, as well as Wade. Wade is appreciating the current display I have on the YouTube stream, and I thought I'd throw something different up there. But anyways, back to you there, Mac.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, working 80 meters right now does exclude me. And even if I did have my 80 meter long wire stretched back up, I would say that the noise on 80 meters for folks up in this neck of the woods would probably preclude us from being very functional as net controllers. So I don't want to have to resort to listening to an SDR in order to make contact with somebody.
Yeah.
That to me, that doesn't sound or feel like radio. So I would probably decline that. As a matter of fact, brings me to an important point there, is that this 40 meter long wire that was originally my get up and go activate a park antenna as an alternate to the Pac-12 has served more than admirably in place of the 80 meter long wire, and it's not very high off the ground. I would actually be embarrassed at how low it is. But even so, it's working so well on 40 meters all the way up through 10. and actually best performing on 20 meters, strangely enough. And these are it's the same batch of 49-to-1 Ballons that I purchased. I still have a bag full of them here. And Al, if you're still out there and listening, I remember I promised you one. It's still here for you. I think Larry LBI has one. Steve VA3NFG has one, and a bunch of wire. So I think he's all set to get out and activate at his first convenience. But yes, it's that antenna is working really well for me right now. And strangely enough, the performance on 17, 15, 12, and 10 meters, especially 10 meters, is even in excess of my satisfaction with the 80-meter long wire. Anyways, you did it. You let it come back to me, and I've overtalked. So I'm going to sit here quietly and let you go ahead and say hello to everybody else, because I'm causing a lineup and the line forms to the left.
Oh, very good, Mac. Not a problem. We'll get back to that in a little bit there regarding noise. See, I live close to Ottawa Street and the Center Mall, and I get a lot of noise here, and so it all depends on your location. And plus, I've got two wire antennas. One is full length G5RV, and it's on the top of my tower. Now, they say that's not optimal because of the metal and the 450 ohm ladder line causing a problem. But I have another G5RV, the Junior, and it's mounted on a piece of wood with a PVC pipe as an extension. So there's absolutely no metal, and I get super high noise level. But the thing is, they're both super resonant. The full length G5RV is quite resonant on 40 meters, while the Junior is more resonant on the 20 meters. So I can alternate between those two, and I know the difference. So whenever the conditions are not optimum on one, I can go to the other. But the high noise level, I just think it's my area, and I can't do much about it, which impedes my making contacts with certain stations. But anyways, Mac, yes, we will continue on. Thank you so much. And let's go to the next person in line, and that would be Wade, VA3NCA. Wade, come on in.
VA3CJZ, VA3NCA. Good evening, Chuck, and good evening to everybody on net tonight. Another Wednesday. Another day I was at work, not playing radio, unfortunately, but I did manage to break out the DMR programmer to add a couple of additional talk groups on. What I found was a semi-local, somebody out in London area who operates a bunch of repeaters that he links up between 10-meter repeaters, 70-centimeter, 2-meter repeaters, and DMR repeaters, and he's got them all linked together. And he was on a podcast. I wish I could remember which podcast it was. I can't right now, but anyways, it got me thinking that I should listen in on that talk group on my DMR handy-talkie here. And that led me down a rabbit hole, as sometimes happens, and I found that I couldn't find my programming cable, so then I finally found one, and I realized that it was the one that was broken when it came from the manufacturer, and the whole thing about getting a replacement, which they sent, and I seem to have lost it somewhere. So anyways, long story medium, as I broke out the soldering iron and the wire clips and fixed it, so that I could program that MMX DMR repeater and another one that I've come across in the meantime, and got that going. So that was tonight's project that I wasn't planning to do, but anyways, that's the sum of my radio that I did today. So hopefully other people have had a chance to do a little better. Anyways, I did like your AI radio picture there that uses a thumbnail on YouTube. It looked great. Not sure I'd want a POTA with that radio, and I think that the guy's got five fingers, not the four and the thumb in the picture. So I guess it's AI. Anyways, back to you there, Chuck, VA3NCA.
Good eye. I never really noticed that until now. I think you're talking about his left hand showing a lot of fingers. Well, maybe he's one of those giants. Apparently, they all have 6 fingers and toes on each limb. But yeah, it was a pretty cool picture I had in my on my computer there, and I thought I'd put something up a little different. So I'm glad you like it. Okay. Let's see now. What else? We changed the clocks coming up this weekend. So for those of you wondering when that is, that's this Saturday night at 2 a.m. or Sunday morning, 2 a.m., I guess. And I'm looking forward to it. That means longer days, more sunshine, more warmth, all the good stuff. All right, Wade, well, thank you so much, sir. Do you have anything else before we continue on?
Well, I just I guess I forgot that it's springing forward. We're going to lose an hour this weekend, so everybody be careful driving on the Monday for sure, but certainly on the Sunday. But I guess ever since most clocks do it themselves, aside from my microwave and my stove, I guess. It sort of works itself out, but your internal clock, not so much. No, other than that, nothing else. I will be around for the duration. I'll listen along, and looking forward to the next round and to this day in history as usual. So I'll send it back to you, and you can pick up some more there, Chuck. VA3NC, back to you.
Okay, very good, Wade. Thank you so much for checking in and participating on YouTube. Those of you just tuning in, I also streamed the net on YouTube. I just put in my call, VA3CJZ, and you can find us live there. But for now, let's see who else is out there would like to check in with us here on the weekly Amateur Radio Exchange Group. Please come now. Okay, I hear crickets. I also noticed my noise floor just went down. I had an S4 right when the net started, and now it's at S1. So that's good. I hope you all had fun this weekend. It was, I do believe, on the Friday was the 29th of February. Was it this week? Last week. Hang on here. Yeah. So, whoops. Yeah, and on the weekend there was a bunch of contests, or actually one big one. But this weekend we have lots of contests, and maybe we'll go up there and visit that right now. And of course, we take all our information from contestcalendar.com.
Comment.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, comment.
VA3MW. Actually, the 29th was Thursday, which was our excuse for taking Thursday and Friday off work and having a 4-day weekend.
Absolutely. And thank you for the correction, Matt. And I was thinking of you when I was talking about it. That's probably what threw me off. Having all these great long weekends and having Christmas and all that fun stuff. Glad you're enjoying your antenna, the retractable one. You're getting a better performance out of the 10 up to 17 meters because your antenna is vertical. I use an old Antron 99, only 20 feet in the air, and I can talk around the world on 10 to 20 watts, no problem. Every time I key down, I hit someone. And as you know, I do have a compromised radio, and so I don't have the full power available to me at the moment, but nonetheless, the vertical is great on 10 up to 17.
Yeah, and QSL, me on Saturday trying to avoid all of the mishmash, clobber, stomp, and from all the contesters. I did all my activations Saturday from 17 and 12 meters because there's no contesting on the warp bands. And thank goodness for the warp bands. So that was Albion Falls at the head pond, and what's that other one there? Iroquois? No, that's not it. Aramosa. Yeah. So just strictly working 12 and 17 meters. That was an excellent day.
Very good tip, Mac. Very good tip. And you're going to need to implement that this weekend. And so I'm going to segue right into the contests coming up this weekend. And you may want to go to the work bands if you're going to activate. So we'll start off with the YBDX RTTY contest. That's for 10 meters, 15, 20, 40, and 80. And that's for RTTY. Next, we have a sideband net with the South African Radio League, the SARL VHF UHF FM contest. And that's for 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. Next, we also have the South Africa Relay League Field Day contest. And that will be for CW, single sideband, and digital. So, and the bands are 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. And then we have another CW contest, the RSGB Commonwealth. And then another CW contest, the SKCC Weekend Sprintathon. And that's for 6 meters, 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. Next, we have the South America 10-meter contest for sideband and CW. Of course, the only band is 10 meters. Then we have the DIG QSO party for sideband. I don't know what the DIG stands for, but it's for 10 meters, 15, 20, 40, and 80. And then we have a bunch of QSO parties in the States. We have Oklahoma, Idaho, Wisconsin, QSO party. So did I get them all? Oklahoma, Idaho, and Wisconsin QSO party. And then we also have for UCW folks out there, I know some of you are practicing. We also have the Tesla Memorial HFCW contest. And then the North American Sprint for RTTY. And then there's a Youth on the Air contest. It's a short one. And that is for sideband CW, 10 meters, 15, 20, 40, and 80. Now, there's a bunch of smaller nets, too many to mention. Just open up your web browser and type in contestcalendar.com for more information. So do we have any questions, comments, or announcements that anyone would like to make? Please come now. VA3CJZ.
VA3NFG. Checking in.
All right, very good, Steve. Thank you very much. Are there any other check-ins for this week's Amateur Radio Exchange Group? This is VA3CJZ.
VE3KMQ. BTM.
I'm sorry, who was the last one?
For 3, Tango Mike.
Oh, Tango Mike. Yeah, I keep keying up on you at the same time you're transmitting. Sorry about that. So we've got NFG, KMQ, and TM. Let's go to Steve, VA3, NFG.
Good evening, Chuck, and to all on net. To Rick, VE3 AXJ. I feel for you, brother. I'm really sorry about what happened there with your neighbor. I'm feeling a little bit about what you're going through. I have a wake tomorrow. It's for one of our store employees. She left the store last Thursday and dropped dead in the parking lot. It was
Oh my God.
really a horrific situation there. And her name's Sarah Mack. And she was a real sweet girl, unfortunately. It was her time. Anyway, on a positive note there, Chuck, I'm just going to let you get back to net there and be quiet there for a bit. I'll be hanging around for till the duration anyway. VA3 NFG.
Short.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Short.
Yeah, thanks for that, bud, and Mac, thanks, both of these things.
All right, very good, Rick. All right, Steve, I'm very sorry to hear that. There's seems to be a lot of that going on lately. People just passing away, more and more, it seems. As we get older, there's a lot of other people that are also getting older, but sad to hear. All right, Steve, great signal and audio as always. And so you're in the log, and let's go say hello to Mike, VE3KMQ.
Yeah, VA3CJZ, VE3KMQ. Good evening, Chuck, and everybody else on frequency, and a special hello to Tom coming up behind me there. Not an awful lot going on with me, but first I just want to pass along sympathies to those who lost their life there. Always a tragic thing, so condolences to everybody who's affected there. As I said, not an awful lot going on with me, Chuck. Enjoyed doing the contest this past week. You were mentioning a lot of the contests coming up this coming weekend, but certainly I had myself kind of glued to the radio, so to speak, with the ARRL contest. A lot of fun. A lot of countries worked, of course, with it being a DX focus. And I'm not sure about this weekend. Maybe I need to take a break, eh? Anyway, that's about it for me. So I'll swing it back to you, Chuck. V3KMQ.
Yeah, very good, Mike. Listen, they were stacked like cordwood on 20 meters for sure. Probably other bands as well this past weekend. So I did quite well. Although I didn't get into the game really until Saturday night, really. I had just gotten my back surgery that I get every 6 months to give me some relief. And it takes a little bit out of you because, it's a procedure, and they had to insert these rods into my spine and cauterize the nerve endings. So you're a little bit sore. But Saturday night I started, and then again on Sunday, and I was able to get 53 countries. And the only American station I got was Alaska because it's Alaska. I always try and get Alaska and Hawaii whenever I can. And but other than that, I got 6 new countries to add to my list, and so I'm quite stoked about that. I'm a country hunter or there's other terms for that, but anyways, yeah. So it's going to be quite busy again this weekend, and especially with the Americans having 3 states with the QSO party. Yeah, it's going to be mayhem. But anyways, nice of you to check in again, Mike. Glad everything's okay. And yeah, don't forget time change this weekend. Back to you, sir.
Yeah, okay, very good, Chuck. Well, first of all, hope your, I guess you call it recovery, is real quick there. I understand that's a normal procedure that you have on a regular basis. But anyway, I hope things work out well for you. Yeah, I'm not sure how many countries I got. I did rack up a large number of contacts. I think it was 385, but I was glued to the radio pretty much the whole time. I did take breaks, of course, but you're right. I found Saturday, and especially Saturday night, was hopping like mad. Friday was kind of slow for some reason. I found that. Anyway, I won't hold it. Thanks for taking the check-in, Chuck. Always good to talk to you. And we'll pass along 73. So back to you, VE3 KMQ.
Okay, Mike, very good. Before I let you go, there are 2 countries I wanted to get but couldn't. One was Greenland, and the other was New Zealand Sub-Antarctica Islands, or island. And that was a pretty unique one, but unfortunately, I just wasn't able to hear him. So, yeah, we'll have to wait for another. I always liked, I still don't have Antarctica, and can't wait to get that one in the books. All right, so we'll clear with VE3KMQ and say hello to VA3 Tango Mike. Tom, come on in.
Well, good evening to you and to all on board. And yeah, a couple of things there. Certainly condolences to those who've lost a loved one. It's never easy, and especially when it's so sudden like that with not being expected. And yeah, your back surgery. I feel your pain a little bit, so I hope it clears up very quickly. Not much to add here. Hello to Mike, my neighbor. I guess we could throw a stone at each other. I'm in LaSalle Towers here on the bay, and Mike's only 4 blocks away. But no, I just got my HF station finally together. And hopefully I'm going to get on the air this week with a 7300 and an AT100 auto tuner. So hopefully we'll get on the air and start doing some serious HF. Anyway, good to talk with you, Chuck, and keep on doing what you're doing. It's enjoyable. I've got you on the screen here as well. So 7-3 for now. VA 3TM.
Okay, Tom. Well, thank you so much for checking in. Always a pleasure. It's been a little while. And yeah, the back is already starting to feel better, but there's still some inflammation. And I just take one of those 650 acetaminophen there, and I'm good to go. So thanks again. And yeah, good luck with your HF. What antenna? Did you have an antenna up already, or what?
Yeah, what I've got is, of course, I'm in LaSalle Towers, the monument on the bay, as they call it, and I'm on the 7th floor facing the bay, facing due south, and I've got 5 different ham sticks with a mount that a friend of mine built for me, and it's on one of those old pickup truck CB mounts with the spring and the ball. So I can just swing the antenna out and change the antenna and swing it out straight out. And actually I point exactly due south, so I'm able to get going that way, I think. But the ham sticks, I guess, are not the best antennas, but they'll have to do me from now on. Back to you.
Yeah, absolutely there, Tom. Well, I have heard some good things with the ham sticks, but I mean, if you're in a compromised space situation or restricted in a way, then you do the best that you can, right? So very good then. Well, Yeah, good luck. Our solar cycle is probably peaking this summer, 1 year early. I've heard them say, is supposed to peak in 2025, but the way the sun is acting, it might peak 1 year early and continue to peak until next year. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyhow, thanks again, Tom. You have anything else for us before we carry on?
Sorry, I missed the question.
Oh, just wondering if you've got anything else for us before we carry on.
No, not really. Not really. Just enjoy watching you and listening. And back to you, Chuck.
Okay, very good. Thanks again. Enjoy the rest of the net, and we'll be getting to some trivia and some on this day in history. And so, always entertaining. And so, with that, we'll clear with VA3TM. And let's see who else might be listening and would like to check in with us here on the Monday night or Wednesday night Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is VA3CJZ.
VE3LBI, don't look at the clock.
VE3LBI. I didn't look at the clock, but it's kind of hard with the clocks right around me. But come on in, Larry. What's going on?
I just finished up early tonight with the other little thing that was going on. So I guess I don't know whether you announced it, but I figured you must have about the time change.
Oh, yes. We've covered that.
Okay, and it looks like hammers, people that use it for logging, is not working properly. It won't look up Canadian Parks properly. So anybody using that, be a little bit leery about it.
Oh, Hammers is acting up, is it? All right. When did that start?
Well, it has to do with the Canadian Parks being switched over to CA instead of VE.
Oh, yeah.
But it's definitely not looking up the parks properly. CAA, I don't know where they're getting their information from, but if you do a CA, it mostly is pointed towards California. So I don't know if I want to be down there right now, but anyways, it's yeah. So just anybody using hammers for any of their activations for POTA, just be a little leery. The park information is not coming up correct.
Right, right. Oh, yeah, okay. And speaking of, well, it's not a computer glitch, but the city of Hamilton was attacked with a denial of service ransomware last week. When I heard that the city computers were down, I immediately said ransomware. But yet, the city waited 1 week before letting the public know that in case was the fact. A lot of things were affected. A lot of things they've had to go back to doing manually, other than the computers. And it's funny because last Friday when I went to McMaster Hospital for my back procedure, they never asked for my health card when they always ask for my health card. The lady just asked me, "Is everything the same?" And I was like, "Yep." And okay. So I thought that was a little bit weird, but now it makes sense.
No, Mac's not tied into the Hamilton portion of it. They're all separate. But I have that happen quite often too, Chuck. What you're just talking about. If they have you booked in, a lot of times they don't bother looking at my card anymore. So, but no, they're not linked into the Hamilton. Hamilton. Well, I think somebody's head's going to roll in Hamilton, as far as I can see. I mean, they obviously must not have proper backups to do the restoration, or their proper backups were online, which is a no-no. So when the corruption come in and the ransomware come in, it encoded all of the regular software or all the regular data, plus it also did an encoding on the backup software. So somebody's, I think, somebody's looking in a little bit of trouble for doing that. I'm not sure exactly where it was hit. There is some theories of where they actually, where it came in from. But I know I got hit once at work, and it was a fax well, you don't receive faxes via email. We were fortunate enough to catch it. Well, that was the second time. The first time it took me 12 hours to do a recovery, but I had proper backups that nobody could get at. The second time, we caught it within 5 minutes, and I was fortunate enough to be able to actually just rename my servers to a different name, so they were no longer accessible.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I do know the library was hit, and other parts. Um, but yeah, they should have been prepared for something like that. I mean, everyone is getting uh, breached. Let's put it that way. It doesn't feel like anyone is properly protected. When the internet first started blowing up there, Larry, I kind of knew that we'd be getting here as soon as when they started with the what was it, uh, the bombs there, the where you get all kinds of uh, uh, ads popping up on your screen. Uh, I knew, eventually everyone's going to get hacked, and sure enough, it seems like every day you hear about another system being attacked. But hey, until we figure it out, we got to deal with it in a smart way.
Well, I think the unfortunate part that most people get. I mean, I'm leery of it because I've been around it so long. But I think the unfortunate part is the elderly people. I say that in the sense of older people that don't really have that much insight on computers. And they're the ones that are getting hurt more than. I think the newer generation, is there software out there, an antivirus software out there that it's 100% no. I mean, as soon as they bring out something to kind of protect it, the hackers are already working. I always said that McAfee or whatever, the guys in the top floor, they're selling it, and the guys in the basement, they're making up all the viruses so they can put out so they can keep selling that, McAfee software or whatever. But it's unfortunate. And I think the other part I look at too, with the city of Hamilton, where's my information? It's all there. Unfortunately, it doesn't have my social insurance number, but it has all the rest of my information. I wonder where that is at the present time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? My computer does a pretty good job um, with Windows Defender. I don't have any third party virus software, and it seems to do quite well. Although my phone gets more um attempts to get me to go to these nefarious websites. I get more. Some of them come in form of messages, uh, direct messages. Some of them come in the email on the phone, I think. But as far as my computer, it pretty much filters out all that garbage as far as email goes, and I've been lucky. But the phone, the one thing, if you're not sure about when your phone rings, if you don't recognize the phone number, just don't answer it. If it's important, they'll leave you a message. Half the time, it's either a scammer or, uh, somebody up to no good or a wrong number, possibly. But, anyways, yeah, you have to be careful there, Larry. Anything else before we continue on?
No, I mean, what you're saying about the phone. I got one just this week, actually. Kind of funny that I have an unpaid parking ticket in Toronto from December the 29th. Okay, I haven't been in Toronto. So, like you say, it's a bit of a scam there. And of course, the other one I get all the time too is my payments overdue for Netflix. I've never had Netflix. Anyways, Chuck, I'll let pass it back to you. Thanks for doing it, and we'll listen along here.
Yeah, very good. Always, you know, take a breath and think about these things before you commit to clicking. And again, for me, if I don't recognize the phone number, I won't even answer it. And I've gotten those messages where, we overcharged you on your last bill. Um, we've got X amount of dollars waiting for you. Click on the link. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, so enough of that. Let's clear with VE3LBI, and we might just start early with our trivia and on this day. So, with that, let's see if there's anyone else out there wishing to check in to the weekly amateur radio exchange group. This is VA3CJZ. Please come now.
Victor Echo 3, Charlie Echo Uniform.
There he is, Tomas. VE3 Charlie Echo Uniform. Come on in, Tom.
VE3CJZ, VE3CEU. Yeah, I clicked it the last time, and I guess Larry's signal was stronger than mine. Yeah, it's a great evening there, Chuck. Just relaxing, taking it easy, and I was on the Burlington net there, and now I'm here on this net, and I'm out to make sure I get a bean for the pot before I hit the hay.
All right, very good, Tom. Well, you're coming in with a bit of noise, but the signal is great. I've got you at an S9 over here by the Center Mall in Hamilton, and so I do want to say thanks for checking in, my friend. And it looks like we're coming up to the this weekend where we change the clocks again, so things are looking good that way. And sounds like everything is well with you. And so, thanks for taking the time out, my friend.
Thanks for doing it there, Chuck. And I'll be listening in for about another 20 minutes, half an hour, and then I'm going to hit the hay. So thanks for taking my check-in, and you have yourself a good evening, and I'll let you proceed. VE3CJZ, VE3.
Roger, Roger. VE3CEU. Tom, thanks again, my friend. And time to hit the hay. I remember those days where I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning, between 4 and 4:30 there, and makes for an early night. Okay, so we'll clear with Tom, and let's see if there's anyone else out there that's listening that would like to check in. This is VA3CJZ. Please come now.
DE3OAB.
And then we have a VE3 Oscar Alpha Bravo, Phil. Good evening, Phil. Come on in.
Yeah, good evening there to you. About the Hamilton system, it wasn't last weekend. It's the weekend before that they got nailed. Between Saturday and Sunday night is when they got in.
You're absolutely right. I'm just losing track of time here. We're already into the third week of it. So, it's already mid third week there. So, thanks for clearing that up there, Phil. Were you affected in any way?
The only effect I had of it is they didn't announce the bus stops on the buses, which was part of the system, and all the drivers had to sign in and sign out. And if I went to the library, the computer system was down because they shut that down. They shut down the copy machines in the libraries, so nobody could get any copies even now. And I always remember the first computer course I took through the company. First thing the constructor said to everybody, whatever you do not do anything online that has to do with financing. And what do we do today? We're doing everything we can online with financing.
Yeah, I hear you. You wake up one day and a whole country everyone lost all their money in the bank. Can you imagine that? Wake up tomorrow and there's no records of your money in the bank. Oh, but on the other hand, I bet you there's a lot of people out there who probably wish something along those lines would work in the bank, and that's your mortgages. It'd be nice if everybody's mortgage info was wiped out. Uh, that's like what was that? I think the old Western, the old cowboys that did bank robberies. Some of them stole mortgage paperwork so that it would give a break to the people that owed a lot of money to the banks.
Oh yeah, that's true. They did back in the 1800s because
Yeah,
people couldn't afford anything, so they said, "Hey, well, we'll go into the bank and take all the papers and the cash and the gold, and whatever we can get our hands on, and if we get away with it, great."
yeah, yeah. I just it just came to me there that yeah, long time ago they used to do that. Well, people were dirt poor back then, a lot of them, anyways. But yeah, so everything going well with you there, Phil?
Oh yes, everything is going a lot better. I finally figured out why my low frequency HF wouldn't work.
Oh yeah, and
You know what a PL259 SO239 looks like,
Roger.
and you know what lightning arrestor is for one of those looks like.
Yes, I do.
Well, somehow the with your male goes into the female, the inner pin in the lightning arrestor had been pushed out, and when I put my PL259 in, it wouldn't make proper contact, or make contact, not make contact, not make contact, and I thought possibly it was outside.
Yeah, that would be a head scratcher for sure. I'm glad you found the issue and it wasn't anything serious. But you're doing a great job down here at the Center Mall, Phil. I've got you full scale here, so you're doing really well on VHF.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. So what I did, I got out my jury screw set, and I took the connector off, and I took the 4 pins where the PL259 went in, and I bent them all inward to the center, and I put
Yeah.
it back in, and it worked perfect. I suddenly got signals I wasn't getting before. Like even W1AW was a struggle to hold on to.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think you had some issues last year at some point when you checked in with us, um, and you were having some issues, always testing out different radios and different antennas, I think. But yeah, you got it straightened out now.
Yeah, well, this was with the HF. Last year was the VHF, where the
Oh,
connector
yeah.
came outside the transmitter. It wouldn't make proper contact.
Yeah, yeah, you got to have proper contact for sure. All right, Phil. Well, thank you so much for checking in. Do you have anything else for us?
Yes, I got a mind bender for you. What prime minister grew up in Hamilton?
Oh dear. Um, was that no Diefenbaker? No, I don't know who.
You got the Nobel Peace Prize. Is that any help to you?
Oh, geez, it's I no, I'm stumped.
Lester B.
Right on.
There we go. Yeah, well, that's perfect timing, Phil, because we're about to get into some trivia there shortly. So oh, that's a good one. Lester B. Pearson grew up in Hamilton. Did not know that. Thanks.
A lot of Hamiltonians don't know that one.
Yes, I bet that's true. A lot of well, a lot of us forget a lot of information that we've had in our head for years, but this younger generation definitely needs to be brushing up on their history, because you have these younger folks now getting upset about some of our forefathers doing some nasty things, and it turns out it's untrue. So they should really get their history facts straight. Anyhow, Phil, well, thank you so much for checking in. Do appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. One more time, do you have anything else?
Not at this time, and I may not be back later on. So VE3OAB clear, and have a good week and good DXing. VE3OAB clear.
Absolutely, Phil. Great DXing to you too. And like I said, great signal and audio. And we stream the net on YouTube. You can always go back there and listen. You can move the slider back and forth. It's currently 9:01 p.m. I do have a clock on the YouTube stream, so you can move the slider to whatever time you want. Okay, so we'll clear with VE3OAB and see if anyone else is out there wishing to check in with us here on the weekly Amateur Radio Exchange Group. Please come now.
Was that Chris that came in with the comment? Is VE3RWJ on frequency? Nothing heard, Chuck. Sorry.
Okay, I thought I'd wait because I could not hear as well. Okay, so with that, like I mentioned, it is currently 9:01 p.m. and we're going to go and open up one of our files here, and trivia. Let's pick up where we left off last time with our trivia. Some of them I'll be asking questions, others I'll just be blurting out the information. So let's start off with shrimps. Did you know shrimps' hearts are located in their heads? So maybe that's why we don't eat the head of a shrimp. I don't know. All right. Does anyone know what the name of the world's tallest building?
Burj Khalifa.
You win the prize. Yes, it's in Dubai, and it is still the world's tallest building. Tom Cruise has actually been on the outside of it, filming one of his Mission Impossible movies a few years ago. And yeah, quite the building. Very good. All right, how about the largest continent in the world? That would be Asia, and that, of course, has Russia as well as China and other countries. So Russia, Asia. And the world's fastest land animal is, of course, the cheetah. And while we're talking about animals, ants don't have lungs. So I don't know how they function, but they don't breathe air, no lungs. Did not know that. And did you know there's a planet made almost entirely of diamonds? Yes, that's right, diamonds. It might sound like a sci-fi concept, but in fact, scientists have discovered a planet that is believed to be made almost entirely of diamonds. The planet, which is officially known as 55 Cancri, Cancri, was discovered in 2004 and is located only 40 light years away from Earth in the constellation of Cancer. Hey, that's mine. And 40 light years means if you were to go the speed of light for 40 years, then you would get to 55 Cancri. Interesting. All right. Does anyone know the smallest state in the United States? That would be Rhode Island. Rhode Island is the smallest state in the United States. And we've all heard the Great Barrier Reef. Does anyone know where that is? That is around Australia. Australia is home to the Great Barrier Reef. And anyone know what the largest animal in the world is?
Whale, is it not, Chuck? PA3TM.
That is the blue whale, world's largest animal. So there you go. I always seem to forget that. And this is very cute. Did you know sea otters sleep while holding hands? Now, sea otters, because of the word sea, spend most of their time in the water. I think it's because they're too easy of a prey, as they do not have any defensive mechanisms, except they have webbed feet, so that once they're in the water, they're gone very fast. And so they eat lying on their backs with their food on their stomachs. And apparently they sleep while holding hands with their buddies. So I guess they don't float away and wake up and their buddy is, or the wife or husband is, 3 miles away. That was pretty cute. All right. And what occasion corresponds to the longest day of the year? That's a pretty easy one. The answer is the summer solstice. Anyone know what the distance from the Earth to the Sun is? 93 million miles. That's miles. What sport was featured on the first curved U.S. coin in 2014? Anyone know this one? I didn't. The sport featured on the coin is baseball. Didn't know that. Oh, and this is the next one's pretty cool. M&M's Fruit Chews would eventually become what popular candy? The answer is Starburst. I didn't know that M&M's made those, or the company that owns M&M's. So yeah, M&M's Fruit Chews, CHEUW or EWS Chews, became Starburst. Didn't know that. And according to the Guinness World Records, what's the best-selling book of all time? Anyone? The Holy Bible, #1 selling book. Here's an easy one. Anyone know what the only food that can never go bad is?
Recheck this before you do that. I think the Bible is also the most stolen book in the world, too.
Yeah, well, that's because the Mormons leave those in the hotel night table. Everybody takes them.
Okay, you better repeat the last one. I'm sorry. Maybe Ethiopia.
What is the only food that can never go bad? All right, the answer is honey. Honey never rots or molds or anything. Doesn't never go bad. There you go. Who is considered the father of relativity? And of course, that would be Albert Einstein. What guitarist notably performed on the Michael Jackson song Beat It? Anyone? That would be Eddie Van Halen. He played guitar on that song. Which branch of the U.S. Armed Forces used the slogan, It's not just a job, it's an adventure. In the Navy. The Navy is the answer. I didn't know this one. By U.S. law, exit signs must be one of what two colors? All right. Everyone should know that here in Canada, it's all red, right? Red. But in the States, green or red can officially be above an exit sign. All right. Anyone know when Earth Day was first celebrated? Most of you should have been around for that one. The year is 1970. That's when the first Earth Day. I don't recall even hearing about it, and I think until the late 70s or into the 80s. So that's for me, anyways. How many points does the Star of David have? Anyone? 6. The answer is 6. Who's Barbie's little sister? I don't think any of the men here would know this one, but it's Skipper. Believe it or not, Barbie's little sister's name is called Skipper. That's a new one. Which 3 zodiac signs are summer signs? The answer is Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. 3 zodiac signs for in the summer. Oh, which month of the year is National Ice Cream Month? You would think it's July, right? Well, you'd be right. July. Okay, well that's it for general trivia. I hope you enjoyed it. I do have some music ones that we can do next time, but I'd like to get into the on this day, get that out of the way as well. Do we have any questions or comments or check-ins for this week's AREG Net? Please come now. This is VA3 CJZ. All right, we got a quick one for music here. I just want to throw this one in here. What was the very first video ever played on MTV? Does anyone know? The answer is Video Killed the Radio Star by the Bugles or Buggles. But yeah, Bugles. All right. Some of these are movie and music. We'll get to that next time. All right. So let's jump over to On This Day. And we have On This Day 158. And we'll start off with today's famous birthdays. We've got quite a few. So let's start off with Michelangelo. He was born on this day, March 6th in 1475. And he passed away in 1564. You do the math, it's almost 90 years old. 89, looks like. So, of course, Michelangelo was an Italian sculptor, painter, architect, and poet of the High Renaissance period. Of course, he painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, born in Tuscany. Next, we got Cyrano de Bergerac. Cyrano de Bergerac was born on this day in 1619. He's a French playwright and novelist, known for his large nose. He died in 1655. Quite young, actually. Less than 40 years old. Next, we go to the year 1831. On this day, Philip Sheridan is born. Philip Sheridan is an American general who fought in the Civil War for the Union Army and helped preserve Yellowstone Park. I thought that would be notable to mention. He was born in Albany, New York, passed away in 1888. Here's something I had no clue about. George Dayton was born on this day in 1857, passed away in 1938. Now, George Dayton is an American businessman and founder of the Target Corporation. You remember that Target store that did so well here in Canada? He was born in New York, and so Target goes way back, way further than I thought it did. So there you go, George Dayton. All right, a little bit of comedy. Who remembers Abbott and Costello? Watching the black and white shorts on TV on Saturday, Sunday mornings. Lou Costello, born on this day in 1906, passed away in 1959. Of course, Lou Costello is an American comedian and actor with the Abbott and Costello Show. Who's on first? Born in Paterson, New Jersey. Next, we've got the inventor of superglue, born on this day in 1917. Harry Coover, an American chemist and, of course, inventor of superglue, was born in Newark, Delaware. He passed away in 2011. And who could forget the old saying, "Here's Johnny"? Well, that was said every night by a man named Ed McMahon. He was born on this day in 1923. Of course, he's an American TV sidekick for The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. Born in Detroit, Michigan, and he passed away in 2009. And he also gave away $1 million checks with the sweepstakes he had. Anyone remember that? This next gentleman is someone I didn't know about, but I thought I'd mention him. His name is William H. Webster. He's celebrating 100 years today. Born in 1924, he's an American judge, director of the FBI from 78 to 87, director of the CIA from 87 to 91. Wow, quite the credentials. Born in St. Louis, Missouri. Next, the first woman in space, celebrating her 87th birthday, Valentina Tereshkova. Born in 1937, she's a Soviet cosmonaut and the first woman in space. She was on Vostok 6. For those of you who are interested, of course, born in Russia. Next, we got David Gilmour, celebrating 78 years today. Born in 1946, David Gilmour is a British rock guitarist and vocalist with Pink Floyd. Born in Cambridge, England. And also celebrating a birthday today is Rob Reiner, born in 1947. He's an American Emmy Award-winning actor. You might remember him as Mike or Meathead on All in the Family. And he's also a film director. Born in the Bronx, New York. He has a very, very famous father. His father's name is Carl Reiner. And in the early 60s, Carl Reiner created The Dick Van Dyke Show, in which he originally intended to portray Rob Petrie as a young comedy writer. However, Columbia Broadcasting System, now CBS, persuaded him to settle for being a producer, writer, and occasional supporting actor. And Carl Reiner also teamed up with the likes of Steve Martin. He directed Oh God, The Jerk, and several other films. So the Reiner family are very, very big in Hollywood. And next we have Tom Arnold, celebrating a birthday today, he would be 64. Born in 1959, Tom Arnold. That's his real name. He's an American actor. You might remember him from Tom on True Lies, and with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. Remember that movie? And he's a former husband of actress Roseanne Barr. And two more to go. We've got Shaquille O'Neal celebrating his 52nd birthday today. He was born today in 1972. Of course, everyone knows him as a giant basketball player, and he's got a heart of gold. Born in Newark, New Jersey. He's great with the kids. And finally on my list, we have David Flair. Born on this day in 1979, David Flair is an American professional wrestler, and most notably, the only reason he's on this list is because he is the son of legend Ric Flair. So there you go. That's it for birthdays of famous people born on this day. Any questions, comments, or check-ins for tonight's net? Please come now.
V3BK.
Or check-ins. Okay, VE3BK. Great time for a break there. Rick, come on in.
Hey, I tried to check in before, but turns out I had this radio on split, so I wasn't even transmitting on this frequency. So anyway, I'm kind of late here a little bit, and we missed you on Monday, and a few other guys didn't check in either, but I was here on Monday there, Chuck. Did Art check in tonight there, over?
No check-in from Art, and I don't know if I mentioned this last time you were on here, but isn't he a member of the Hamilton Amateur Radio Club? And if so, you would think someone would have helped him by now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I did put in a want there as well as on this frequency there a couple of weeks ago, but I thought maybe the guys that helped them before would help them again. But anyway, so there is a want in for an Elmer, and last time I talked to him was a couple of days ago. He was saying that he was going to phone up a couple of guys he knew that had offered to help him out. So hopefully he will get somebody. But I guess, yeah, he had one of the workers come over, and she said she knew about ham radio, and she turned on his radio and was playing with it and got it off this frequency, and Art can't see good enough to get it back. So, if somebody stopped in just to put it back on frequency for him, would be good. But that's the way it goes. Anyway, I guess that's why I didn't check in. He probably hasn't got it still set up properly. Anyway, I don't know what your topic was or nothing, but I heard B3OAB in there, and he's absolutely right. He knows his Canadian history. So I think him and me had a good chat there a couple weeks ago. Anyway, that's it. I'm just checking in because you mentioned check-in this time, and my reader was off frequency. So is it okay right now? Do I sound okay there, Chuck? Over.
I thought I'd give a pause there and make you sweat it out there, Rick. No, you're sounding good. You're not split.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I got my line cord on this mic, and I thought the mic wasn't working, and then I realized that it was split, and I didn't even know that radio would do split. That's an old radio. It's an old radio, and it's a 2-meter all mode. So that's what I'm on right now, the 2-meter all mode. Anyway, okay, so hello to everybody on frequency. I'm a late check-in, and we enjoyed what you were saying there already there, Chuck. So carry on, and we'll listen at BA3CJZ, V3BK.
Okay, very good then, Rick. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't make it Monday night there. I did try. Um, I just had back surgery on Friday, and I was still feeling pretty crappy Monday evening there. So I did try, but I couldn't get in. You guys were talking so long. I just said goodbye. Just walked away. So um, yeah, it's a little tender. It takes about a week for me to recuperate from that. After all, they are inserting rods into my spine and then applying heat to the nerves. And so, yeah, it was a little tender there, Rick. So sorry I couldn't make it, but we'll get in there next week. And you did get my email reply, right, about uh, uh, trying to take the Monday Night Net over once in a while.
Oh, okay, I haven't checked that. I got your email about Bob Howe for sure. And yeah, appreciate that. And what was I going to say now? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, your health. Take care of yourself. And I know it takes me a long time to recover from colds. So I know what that's like. Sometimes it takes you longer. But anyway, there was something else I was going to say. Yeah, on Monday night. Well, on the weekend, I heard it was real good. And then we had a solar storm. And sometime on Sunday, the band just went out. And on Monday, I could not hear myself on the SDRs. So I think that was some of it. Some of the distant stations, I wouldn't hear. I wouldn't hear them. And I don't know how Kevin's net went, VA3 RCA. I know that he has his net at 7 o'clock, so on Sundays. And I know that sometimes I can't hear them guys unless I go on the one in Ottawa. Sometimes I can hear them just vaguely, but they can't hear me. So 80 meters is sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. That's the way it goes, Chuck. Anyway, yeah. So I hope your radio's working okay now. Are you being able to transmit on 80 meters? And have you got both G5RVs working? Over.
Yeah, the antennas are working fine, Rick. It's the radio. You know, I would offer to take over, once in a while for the net, but my radio is still compromised. It only does 10 to 20 watts on HF. And so that's no good to be a net controller. And although I can hear most stations, I certainly would be able to communicate that easily with them. And so it'd be a waste of everyone's time. So until I can get some money to get this radio repaired, or someone wants to gift me an HF radio, I'll have to say no for now.
Oh yeah, no problem. Okay, we'll talk about that later off the air sometime. And so you better get back to the state in history or whatever you're going to do next. And I really enjoyed that. So I'm not always here, but hey, we're here today and we're listening. So BA3 CJZ, keep up the good work. Good net B3 BK.
Okay, Rick, you're in the log. Thanks for checking in, sir. It's 9:28 p.m. Before we pick up where we left off, is there anyone else out there listening that would like to check in to our weekly amateur radio exchange group? This is VA3CJZ. Please come now.
VA3XLJ.
VA3XLJ. Vanya, come on in.
Hello, Chuck, and everybody on net. So I just joined in a couple of minutes ago, so I heard Rick talking, and I waited. So I can say a quick check-in, but there's not much time left anyway. So I came in the basement here. So wife, she looks like she's like with comatose. She came with something like she have a fever and the children cold, so she's sitting upstairs. I wouldn't say sitting, like I don't know, half asleep, half awake on a bed. And the kids are up in their rooms, like, and kind of distancing. And I'm here in the basement playing with the FT8. Actually, I just started playing with FT8. I did some cooking and cleaning for tomorrow. Pretty much, that sums it up. What I do: cook and clean. Back to you, Chuck.
Hey, there you go. Something else that we have in common. I also do 90% of the cooking. And of course, the dishes, the wife helps quite, whenever she can. She does. She is the one that's working, and I'm not. So fair is fair. But yeah, you know, everybody's got to, uh, you know, pick up the slack or do what's got to be done. But anyways, you're sounding good tonight. Whereabouts are you, Vanya?
No, I'm downstairs in a basement. So I'm working a day shift this week. So if I didn't get cut up and forget about time upstairs, like probably I would join at the beginning of the net, but I'm gonna try a little bit later on when I go upstairs. Rewind the net on YouTube and listen listen from the beginning. So I honestly, like, you know what, I'm looking around myself, like, it's why she kind of did like a number on my shock, because she moved everything and arranged. It should be arranged, she said. I don't know where it was, to be honest. So yeah, there's not much interesting happening, like where I am on my end. Back to you.
Okay, Vanya. You know, as soon as you said the answer, I already knew the answer because you said you were in the basement. But apologize for that. And very good. It's just that when you're mobile, sometimes you're you're just as sound the same as when you're at home there. So of course you're full strength over here at the Center Mall, and good audio, my friend. So thanks for checking in, and you're just in time for us to pick up a little bit of on this day in history. Anything else?
No, I'm gonna stay here for the duration and listen. I do enjoy the net, so it's my loss that I enjoy on time. So back to you, Chuck.
Okay, very good then. Yeah, that's right. You can actually go to YouTube right now and watch us live, or you can actually move the slider back and forth right to the beginning if you like, or wherever you want. There is a clock on the YouTube stream. You can access it by putting my call into the YouTube search box, and that's VA3CJZ. You can find us live there tonight. And so we'll clear with Vanya. And let's see who else is out there. I'd like to acknowledge Kevin, KKP, who checked in with us on the YouTube stream. Thank you, Kevin. And Jason, VE3 Zulu Juliet Charlie, is actually shouting the answers to the trivia questions I was asking earlier. But unfortunately, we can't hear him on YouTube. Very good, Jason. Let me know how many you got right there when we do hear you. Okay, so anyone else out there would like to check in, please come now. All right, going back to on this day, week 158. So we've done the birthdays and people who died is next. So who died today in history? And everyone knows this first person. His name is Davy Crockett. Davy Crockett was born in 1786, but he died on this day in 1836. We'll get to more about that later. He was an American frontiersman, adventurer, and politician. And he was killed at the Battle of the Alamo at the age of 49. Before I continue, has anyone ever been to the Alamo? I've got my hand raised. I have had the pleasure of going to the Alamo. Well, I'll tell you what. If you ever go through Texas, you should stop in and have a look at history right there. Part of the building is still, well, the front is still up. And there's a truck stop across the street. Anyways, so that was Davy Crockett. Now, Davy Crockett wasn't the only guy. We also have James or Jim Bowie or Bowie. He's also an American pioneer and soldier with the Texas Revolution, and he also dies during the Battle of Alamo at the age of 39. Davy Crockett was 49. Next, passing away on this day in 1900 is Gottlieb Daimler. You might recall the name Daimler Chrysler. Well, that's the guy. He's a German engineer and inventor, and he also designed the very first motorcycle. A lot of you probably thought it was a Harley Davidson that was the first, but it wasn't. He dies at the age of 65. Now, the first motorcycle was called the Daimler Reitwagen, Reitwagen. The Daimler Reitwagen, I'm probably not saying it properly, is widely considered as the world's first true motorcycle, and Daimler is often referred to as the father of the motorcycle because of this invention, and it was his son Paul who rode it for the first time in November 1885. Now, to give you some perspective, let's go to William S. Harley and Arthur Davidson. They developed the first prototype of a Harley Davidson motorcycle in 1903. So a good, 18 years after the Daimler motorcycle. The engine was designed according to the system de Dion Bouton. Anyways, there you have it. That's all I wanted to mention about them. Passing away in 1964 now, we jump into the 20th century. Edward Van Sloan passed away. He's an American actor, and he portrayed Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Mummy. And he dies at the age of 81. Next, passing away in 2002 is Alice Bauer, Bauer. She's an American golfer and co-founder of the LPGA. Dies of colon cancer at the age of 74. For all you LPGA golfers out there. This next one shocked me. Kirby Puckett passed away in 2006. He was only 45, passed away of a stroke. Of course, he's an American Baseball Hall of Fame center fielder. 10 times Major League All-Star, World Series in 87, 91, MVP, all kinds of awards. Too bad. I remember, I think I used to have his baseball card, his rookie card. Probably worth a lot of money now. I should look. Maybe I'm rich and don't even know it. All right, next we have in 2007 passing away Ernest Gallo. He's an American winemaker. You may have seen his name on wine bottles. He was born in 1909 but passed away in 2007. Stompin' Tom Connors passed away on this day in 2013. Of course, Stompin' Tom is a Canadian country artist, dies from natural causes at the age of 77. Next, we have Nancy Reagan, passing away in 2016. She was the U.S. First Lady, wife of Ronald Reagan, and she passed away at the age of 94. Lastly, on the famous people who died on this day, fittingly, we have Henri Richard, or Henri Richard, Canadian Hockey Hall of Fame center, a record 11 Stanley Cups, 9 NHL All-Star with the Montreal Canadiens. He dies from Alzheimer's at the age of 84. in 2020. That's it for famous people passing away on this day. Any questions, comments, or check-ins? Please come now. Today's historical events. Well, we have Magellan discovers Guam. Guam turned out in the 20th century to be a strategic military island in the Western Pacific. In 1521, Magellan, a Portuguese navigator, for those who didn't know, your Magellan GPS unit there called Magellan is after this gentleman. Ferdinand Magellan is the first European to sight Guam in the Western Pacific. This is back in 1521. All right, let's go to the year 1788. The British First Fleet arrives at Australian territory of Norfolk Island to found a convict settlement. Now, the British were not the only ones with this idea. The French also did that in French Guiana, a little island there, where they sent their prisoners. You might remember the movie Papillon with Steve McQueen. That was a penal colony. So other countries have taken their nastiest of criminals and set them up on an island. Well, just look at the one in San Francisco there. What's it called again? I'm sorry, I keyed on you. Say again.
Alcatraz, VA3TM.
The Rock.
That's right. Thank you for that. I had a blank there for a moment. So, yeah, if you ask me, I think it's a good idea for the worst of the worst. Like all those MS-13 guys there. They belong on an island. But anyways, that's something for another time. So let's go to 1816 now. And we have Jews are expelled from Free City of Lübeck, Germany. So this is in 1816. The only reason it's on my list is because it seems every week that I do on this day, I always read about Jews being expelled from countries all throughout history. I have no idea why, but it just says that they're expelled. Some of them was for, if I remember correctly, I forget where it was, but it was because they were clipping off pieces of coin and melting them down to make another coin. You know what I mean? So one place didn't like them doing that and just told them to get out. But anyways, all right, next we have the court-martial of Edgar Allan Poe. A lot of you probably didn't know that Edgar Allan Poe was in the military, but in 1831, Edgar Allan Poe is court-martialed and dismissed from West Point Military Academy for gross neglect of duty and disobedience of orders. We all know Edgar Allan Poe was a pretty macabre poet, quite graphic and scary. All right, so here we go. In 1834, on this day, Toronto is incorporated with William Lyons Mackenzie as its first mayor. First mayor of Toronto was in 1834. All right, so I mentioned the Battle of Alamo earlier. So on this day in 1836, it was the last day of the Battle of the Alamo. After 13 days of fighting, 1,500 to 3,000 Mexican soldiers overwhelmed the Texan defenders, killing 182 to 257 Texans, including William Travis, he was a lawyer, I believe, and Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett. All right, in 1857, we have the Dred Scott decision. The U.S. Supreme Court rules Africans cannot be U.S. citizens. Okay. Next, we have the periodic table. On this day in 1869, Dmitri Mendeleev presents the first periodic table of the elements to the Russian Chemical Society. There you go, folks. Now you have it. 1869. And then in 1886, the first United States alternating current power plant in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. So AC, the lights went on this day in 1886. Literally, the lights came on. Okay. 1896, the first automobile in Detroit. Charles B. King rides his horseless carriage. There you go, the first car in Detroit, 1896. All right, in 1899, we have aspirin. The acetylsalic acid is patented by Felix Hoffmann at German company Bayer. So the Bayer aspirin was invented on this day in 1899. And then in 1918, the United States naval boat Cyclops disappears in the Bermuda Triangle. That's right at the end of the First World War. Next, we have Babe Ruth's Yankee contract. In 1922, Babe Ruth signs a 3-year contract with the New York Yankees at $52,000 a year. I don't know what it'd be worth today, but I'm sure it would be a lot. Eleanor Roosevelt, on this day in 1933, is the first lady to hold an official press conference at the White House. So she's the first press conference by a first lady. There you go. All right, next we have the trampoline is patented on this day in 1945. George Neeson of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, receives a patent for the first modern trampoline. And then in 1950, on this day, Silly Putty goes on sale in the U.S. I love that stuff as a kid. I used to put it on the Saturday morning newspaper funnies, a comic strip, and then you'd peel it off and you'd get a picture of the comic that you applied it to. Oh man, they were tons of fun. And so was Play-Doh. Actually, did you know that Play-Doh was used as wallpaper cleaner in the 1930s? Play-Doh was then reworked and marketed to Cincinnati schools in the mid 1950s. Play-Doh was demonstrated at an educational convention in 1956, and prominent department stores opened retail accounts. That wasn't on this day, but because we talked about Silly Putty, I thought I'd let you know that Play-Doh was actually used as wallpaper cleaner. Next, we've got the Rosenberg trial. Spies. 1951, the trial of Julius Rosenberg and his wife Ethel begins for providing top secret information to the Soviet Union. I do believe they were executed for treason. In 1959, we have the farthest radio signal heard on Earth from the Pioneer 4 probe, which was at 400,000 miles. Muhammad Ali, in 1964, boxing legend Cassius Clay joins the Nation of Islam and changes his name to Muhammad Ali, calling his former title a slave name. Yeah, he was a little strange. And then, of course, he thought that becoming an Islamic he would dodge the draft, and actually, he successfully managed to dodge the draft because in 1967, Muhammad Ali, only 3 years later, is ordered by Selective Service to be inducted, but he never did. And also in 1967, Joseph Stalin's daughter, Svetlana Allilujeva, approaches the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi, India, and asks for political asylum. I think I mentioned her last week on this day as well. The Beatles released Let It Be in the UK on this day in 1970. And in 1978, Hustler publisher Larry Flint and his lawyer are shot by a militant white supremacist sniper in Georgia, leaving Flint crippled and wheelchair bound. I don't know if you remember seeing when Hustler was quite popular there, Larry Flint was in a wheelchair. And in 1981, Walter Cronkite signs off as anchorman of CBS Evening News. And that's the way it is on March 6th, 1981. All right. In 1985, future undisputed world heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson KOs Hector Mercedes at 1 minute 47 seconds. Big surprise there. In round one of only 4 rounds in Albany, New York, in his first professional fight. So that was back in 85. 1986, after losing all appeals, American rock singer David Crosby begins serving 5-year sentence for drug and weapons convictions in Texas. And in 1992, the Michelangelo computer virus begins to take effect. I probably got hit with that. 1992. And in 1997, Picasso's painting Tête de Femme, which means head of the woman, is stolen from a London gallery, and it's recovered only a week later. All right, we're almost done. And next, in 2017, WikiLeaks publishes what's called Vault 7, which has CIA documents detailing its hacking and surveillance techniques. Oh, that Julian Assange. And on this day in 2018, British health officials tells the country it's time to get on a diet and urging manufacturers to reduce calories in foods. Yeah, good luck. All right, here's a cool one. 2 more to go. Again, or still in 2018 on this day, Forbes names Amazon founder Jeff Bezos the world's richest person for the first time at $112 billion. And Bill Gates is number 2. Of course, they've ping-ponged back and forth over the years, but just a side note, did you know that Amazon started as a online bookstore? And Amazon lost money for 9 years. 9 years before Amazon turned a profit. And look at them now. All right, so we'll end off with the world's oldest message in a bottle found in Western Australia on this day in 2018. It was thrown from a German ship, Paula, named Paula, 132 years ago. The actual date on the message is the 12th of June, 1886. And so that wraps up on this day in history and a little bit of trivia in there. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did researching it and relaying all that fun information back to you. Do we have any questions or comments or late check-ins for this week's Amateur Radio Exchange Group? This is VA3CJZ. All right, well, let's do a quick trip around the logbook and say hello to Rick. Hopefully he was entertained. VA3AXJ. Rick, you still with us?
Yeah, sure, yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, it's enjoyable. You know, good as always. Always do a good job. And I'll be sticking around for a bit more until the end. So back to you.
Okay, Rick, very good. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you got your mind off things for a little while. Well, let's see if Pierre's still with us. VE3BMO. Next will be Jason. I don't know if Jason is still in the basement watching the YouTube stream. Well, let's give it a shot anyways. VE3 Zulu Juliet Charlie, are you there? Okay, nothing heard. Next, let's go to Mac, VA3 IMW.
Yeah, still here with you, Chuck. Great job as usual and very entertaining. 7-3s to 1 and all, and we'll be listening for everybody on their usual spots tomorrow night. VA3 IMW. I'll be sticking around, and then as you close off, I'll go QRT.
All right, very good, Mac. Only 2 more days before the weekend. And funny enough, right when I was calling your name, I was thinking about George. George never checked in tonight, but it is his birthday. So I'm sure he's celebrating with his brother, I heard was coming over to visit. So happy birthday, George, if you're listening. If not, you can hear this back on YouTube. And so we'll clear with Mac, and let's go to Wade. VA3 November Charlie Alpha.
Hey, Chuck. Yeah, great AREG as usual. Very enjoyable. You mentioned about Amazon, and don't feel too bad for Mr. Musk there, but he just this past Monday he lost first place for richest man in the world to Bezos from Amazon fame. So as of Monday, Amazon Bezos there he overtook Musk at $200 billion, and Musk is going to have to figure out how to make do on a paltry 198. They trade this back and forth a little bit, but just when you mentioned there about Amazon, then I thought I'd pass that little bit of trivia that I heard earlier, and I am struggling to try and feel bad for either of them, but there you go. Anyway, 73 to all. Thanks for running it again there, Chuck, and I'll send it back to you, VA3NCA.
All right. A mere 200 billion. Maybe they can lend some to Trump. He seems to be needing some lately. Okay, Wade, thank you so much for that, as well as that bit of trivia. Very good then. All right, well, let's go up the hill to Steve, VA3 November Foxtrot Golf. You still with us, Steve?
Yeah, Chuck. Good net there as usual. Very interesting. I've been listening. I haven't moved actually off the chair since I got here. Actually, I did. I had to use the bathroom twice. So, other than that, pretty good nut there, Chuck. As always, like I said. So that being said, I'll just say everybody out there have a good evening, and we'll catch us on the flip side. I'll be around for maybe another hour or so, Chuck. Back to you, VA3NFG.
Okay, very good, Steve. Well, glad you were entertained, and thanks for sticking around. All right, next, I think Tom is up next. Victor Alpha 3, Tango Mike. Tom. Okay, next, actually, want to say thanks to Bill, VE3IUK, for checking with us on YouTube. And we have Clint, Kilo India 5, Zulu India Fox. Hello, Clint. Well, welcome to our weekly net, and thank you so much for checking in. Much appreciated, sir. I will add your call into the logbook. And of course, Jason checked in on YouTube there as well. Thank you, Jason. Kevin, VE3KKP. As I mentioned, Bill and Wade, VA3NCA. Thank you all so much. And next, LBI, VE3 Lima Bravo India.
Yep, we're still here, Chuck. Was listening along. No, great net there, and quite a few interesting facts you put out.
All right, Larry. Glad you found some entertainment value. And so next, let's go to well, I think Thomas has gone to bed though. VE3 CEU. How about Phil? Victor Echo 3, Oscar Alpha Bravo. You still with us, Phil? Next up is Rick, VE3 Bravo Kilowatt.
Yeah, I'm still in here, Chuck, listening along, and that's about it. Haven't really got anything to add. Good evening, 73 to everybody that's on there, but I'll be listening to the end there. So, like I said, I had, you had OAB there just before me, and we had a good conversation there 2 weeks ago, I guess it was. Anyway, and he certainly knows his stuff about Canada's history. So, anyway, that's all I got there, Chuck. BA3CJZ, B3BK.
Okay, Rick. Well, thanks for sticking around. And you know what? More of us need to keep reminding ourselves of history. I mean, it's not there to like. Some of it is, some of it isn't, but it's there to teach us what not to do in the future. All right. So without getting political, let's go to Vanya, VA3XLJ. All right. Maybe he's cooking or cleaning. But nonetheless, thank you for checking in, Vanya. Much appreciated, sir. And that brings us to the bottom of my list. Let's see if we have any last minute check ins for this week's Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is VA3 CJZ. Anyone, anywhere, please come now. All right, very good then. So with that, we're going to wrap it up for another episode of the AREG Net. And tonight, including Clint, our latest check-in from YouTube, that brings our total to 16 check-ins. And I do appreciate it from every one of you. You can all play the entire net back. If you missed any, just go to YouTube and put in VA3CJZ. And tonight we are AREG week 1590. So with that, 16 check-ins tonight, not too shabby. I really enjoyed everyone's company and letting us know how their week has gone. So have a great rest of the week and a better weekend coming up. We'll be here next week, same bat time, same bat channel. This is VA3 CJZ signing off. 731 and all.
Hey, 73 Chuck, the net, B3BK.